Okay, so after Barn Find Betty's road trip, a few days later, I started it up at the dollar store, and it rattled really bad, and the oil pressure was like really low. And I stopped. I checked the oil. The oil was not low, like maybe half a quart, not enough to be a problem. And so I started her back up and let it sit there a minute, and the oil pressure kind of picked back up, but not still where it should be. So I'm thinking, my theory is, when we went on that road trip, we drove it long enough. We went 150 miles or something. We drove it long enough to get the engine hot enough to all the sludge and everything that was built up in it from sitting has now been gathered in the oil pan and is maybe blocking the screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the oil, but I'm not just changing the oil. I'm going to put some kerosene through it to try and flush the crud out. Hopefully, well, what my thought on it is I'm going to drain the oil, put the plug back in, fill it with about a quart of kerosene, let that sit in the bottom of the oil pan where I'm thinking, we got sludge, probably for 24 hours or so. Let that sit and soak, and then drain that and flush it until nothing but clean stuff comes out. And hopefully that'll take care of it. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know, this might be boring watching me change oil in the truck. Any of y'all that's been following this truck, might find this interesting, whatever. I have orange stuff everywhere in here. Probably from where I busted the radiator that time, that's right. Anyway, so let's start by, I'm going to pull the dipstick here and show y'all. So this oil has maybe, I'm going to say maybe 1,000 miles on it, if that. And y'all can see that stuff is pretty dirty, but now it's not low. So the first oil change, I got a little bit of water out of the bottom of the pan. So I'm hoping that we can rectify this situation without anything being really wrong with the engine. So I guess the next thing I need to do is drain the oil. Oh, one other thing I do want to mention. I bought this new dish pan. I had an oil pan, but I want this so that I can see what comes out of the engine. Something nice and clean, bright white, so I can see, as I'm pouring it into the other container. Oh, there's hopefully nothing in there. But if there is anything in there, maybe I can see if there's metal shavings, if there's just crud and gunk. I'm figuring that's what I'm going to find is a lot of crud and gunk, just like sludge buildup from, like I said, sitting 30 years. So, yeah. All right. Okay, camera battery's died. I missed the entire drain process, but I'm going to try and pull this pan and show y'all if I can. I showed y'all how black nasty this was, but when it was draining, there was like lumps of stuff coming out. Oh yeah, see crud? Oh, wow, look at that. Okay, it's soft globs of stuff. So yeah, so I'm on the right track. Now, put this back under there. All right, now, I'm going to pour some kerosene through. Alright, get ready. Here we go. Alright, so that was our first flush. But like I said, I want to pour some in that bottom of that pan and let it soak and maybe dissolve whatever crud is in there. And then we'll drain that and flush it some more. But we're going to let him sit for a while. Oh, I took my drain plug out. At least this drain plug is kind of more or less in the bottom. So, you know, it doesn't... Some of them have the drain plug where it doesn't come straight out of the bottom, which I think is stupid. This one, you're going to have the bung sticking up in there, so you're still not going to get a real good drain. So after I'm done flushing the kerosene, I will pour some clean oil in there to flush the rest of the kerosene out. Because the kerosene should float up on top of the oil. Seeing as how it's lighter. Right now, trying to shake it, make it come on out, but it ain't working. All right. Alright, we're just going to snug that good enough to where it won't leak the kerosene out. Just like that. And now we'll pour the kerosene in the top and let it sit. Okay, so a while ago I just used the big jug to pour the kerosene in. Because I just wanted to pour a little bit through there to kind of try and flush that. Now this time I'm going to let it sit. And I want 1 quart. So I have an empty oil jug. And I'm going to put 1 quart of kerosene in that. And then, that way I'll know how much I got in there. Now hopefully this fits in that. Barely. But I can't see it, so wonderful. Whoa! Okay, I can see it over here. Didn't make too big a mess. Oh no, don't want to take the junkyard writing off my battery. That's my warranty. Even though it's a new battery, not really junkyard anyway. Now ideally I would just pour this down through the... I thought about pouring it down the dipstick tube, but actually this will help flush anything out of the top end too, I guess. Oops, don't pour too fast, dummy. You know, a lot of people would use a funnel, but you know. Okay, so now we wait. In the meantime, I do have another little thing I want to do to the truck. Something I mentioned in my driveline video about my gas tank being crushed. We're just going to stick that in there to keep any mud daubers or anything getting in there. I don't think we should have a problem with that, but... Alright, let's take the pan out again. And now we've thinned this out a little bit, but... Let's see here. Oh yeah, there's definitely... Oh yeah, there's definitely chunks in there. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna see if I can re-inflate the gas tank. So we had no ventilation, so to temporarily remedy the problem, I took the gasket off of the gas cap. That way this metal on metal is not going to seal tightly enough to make the gas tank try to implode. So we're going to put that back on for now and try and take the line loose on the tank to where we can blow in it. So we want this sealed right here. And then we need flat screwdriver. This is not the best one, but this is what I got handy. And this is gonna suck because I hate having to take this line off because it's a pain in the ass to get to. I want this return line is the one I want to take off because I don't want to blow through the sock and everything. I want to blow into the tank directly. There we go. Okay. So now I've started the rat rod and let it run until the air has built up. So that's where I'm getting my air, and then I'll put my air pressure in on this line. I'll show y'all, but I don't want to do it yet because I want y'all to be under there and see what happens, what I hope happens. Anyway, so I'm just going to take and put this. Oh my God. Well, y'all ought to quit drinking so much. You keep falling over. Okay, there's the crinkly gas tank. Let's see if we can make it back into the shape it's supposed to be. Well, a little wrinkly, but at least it's not half crushed now. So, if ever you install a new gas tank, make sure that your vents are venting. And that's going to be my next step. However, in the meantime, I may just pull that damn gasket back off the cap. So, what did I do with it? Oh, so this little pink line here is our vent. And this is the check valve that does not seem to be functioning because it's going arrows towards your engine. So it's supposed to go one way. That's the way it's supposed to go. It's also going that way. So, I think I need to find another one of these. But I tried blowing through this line and it did not seem like anything was going through. I'm going to take the other end loose from the charcoal canister and see if I can blow back this way. Okay, I don't have a straw for it, but I got some brake parts cleaner here and I'm going to try and spray that down in there. Oh, it's coming out. So that tells me whatever the clog is, it's not right here in the top. So this probably ain't going to do nothing. Old test meter. Yeah, it ain't nothing right there. Well, I'll take it and spray some down in the front. Maybe I can let that soak and get that cleared up too. Okay, enough goofing off with paint and body work for now. Get to the main thing we're needing to do here, and that is get this oil changed out. So first off, I'm pouring the old oil into this other container, obviously, and we're going to get down to the bottom and see how much chunks we got left. So there, we see the chunks coming out. The sludge that came loose and has wreaked havoc on my oil pickup, I'm going to say. So now I'm going to rinse this with just a little bit of kerosene just to clean this pan up so that I can see what's coming out. We know this already came out of there. We want to see what else we get out of there. Okay, so we got our pan cleaned out pretty good. Now we're going to drop our plug again. Let's see what comes out this time. I just snugged that. I didn't tighten it up real tight because it's just all right. Well, that kind of looked about like sweet tea, so maybe some chunks came out, but oh, there's still squishy goop in there though. I can feel it with my pinky finger. So we need something stronger that will dissolve the gunk, or I really don't want to have to pull the oil pan. Especially since this oil pan is going to be basically impossible to pull with the engine in the truck. So that means if it does come so that means if it does come down to that, I will have to pull the engine, and I really would rather not do that. But I also don't want to burn it up, so let's see. Well, let's get this out and look at it, see what it looks like. So here's what came out. So this was 1 quart, well, this was my jug, 1 quart of kerosene. And so I'm going to try to get everything down in one corner and then slowly run it around the other way. So y'all can see chunks of stuff there floating around. So it did bring out some more stuff, and obviously by the, there's a, okay, this flake, oop. See, that's just goop though. You touch it, it's mushy. It's flakes of stuff, but it's just jellified oil. Which it may have been that in the bottom anyways, but it's never had real strong oil pressure, but it always did have pressure. But then the other day, it got down to it really didn't have hardly any at all. So, now, the only thing I can think to do right now is to put another quart of fresh kerosene in there and let it soak for longer, as in days, maybe a week, I don't know. That was 24 hours. This was 24 hours. But from what I feel, there's about so much sludge in the bottom of the pan. The important thing is to get it off the oil screen, but because I think that's what was causing our problem. I don't know of anything else that would break it down any better that's safe to put in the engine. I'm going to search maybe and see if I can figure that out, but if not, we'll go with another quart of kerosene and just let it soak for a few days. That's all I can think of, because the kerosene will kind of break it down eventually, but it would be better if I could agitate it, you know, like, I don't know, shake the hell out of the truck, but I can't really do that either, so I guess we'll just try this again. Okay, so a couple days has gone by, and let's see, was it Thursday or Friday? Anyways, today is Sunday. A couple days ago, I poured some sea foam in the engine, along with my quart of kerosene, and y'all saw me agitate it once with the air hose. But now I have another idea that we're going to try. So we're going to take our oil dipstick out, lay it up there, and we have this tiny hose that came with my fuel line kit that was too small for anything there. So what we're going to do is we're going to feed this down the oil dipstick tube, and when I blow through it, let me see if I can demonstrate here what I'm thinking of. So we're going to take this and put it kind of like so, and when I blow through this and it down there, it's gonna flop around and try to, you know, make the what's in the oil pan. All right, let me see something real quick though. We need to make sure that it goes down at least to here. So I'll put a little dirty oil on it right there. Maybe I can see that. Probably not. Should have a marker, but anyway. So we're going to insert this down to where I have my thumb. Well, there we go. Get on in there. There we go. So that's got that in the oil, or the liquid in the oil pan. Now we're going to blow through this little hose and see what happens, if I can get my thing unhooked here. Now this don't even fit up on there, so I just got to hold it tight again. Oh, I can smell that stuff. The what I say, sea foam. And I'm gonna see if we can slide that down a little more. I kind of like to hear some bubbles. Oh yeah, there's bubbles. Okay. Now let's pull this hose back out and see what the end of it looks like. Well, so there's a little bit of that goop on there that I dug into, but looks like maybe the stuff is diluted. I'm hoping. So I don't know, should I go ahead and drain it again and see what I get? Thinking drain it, flush it with some more kerosene, maybe. I don't know. I think I'm gonna let it sit for a little bit longer. Let that kind of settle back down where I just stirred it all up. I'm hoping it's broke up and gotten all that gelled stuff out of the bottom. Not, we'll try again. Okay, I didn't show the draining, but there was some pretty good chunks of stuff come out that time. See there, chunks. There's more chunks. So this definitely did the job, but did it get everything? That I don't know yet. As black as that is, it definitely took some stuff out of there. So, yeah, even got chunks on my hand here. So now I gotta try and think I'm gonna pour some more kerosene through and see if I can flush some more stuff out. Maybe put another quart in the pan and then drain that and see what happens with that. We're definitely getting crud out of there though. Alright, so I put another quart of clean kerosene in the engine, and I'm going to run my hose back down in there. And for some reason it wants to catch at the end. Well, there it goes. Alright. I'm going to run it down in there pretty good a little ways. Now we're going to start by blowing easily into it and see if I hear bubbles. That way I'll know it's submerged. No, I do not hear bubbles, so I either got it too far down or not enough. Let's push it down some more. It may be curling back up. Yeah, let's try right there. Not exactly bubbles. Let's push it down just a tad. Well, this doesn't seem to be working as well this time. Let's pull it back a little more. There we go. I may have to start the truck and let it build up a little more air pressure. Okay, but yeah, we'll do that and agitate it some more and then let it set again. And just keep flushing until there's clear stuff coming out. That may take a whole couple of gallons of kerosene I got, I don't know. Alright, built up some more air pressure, gonna agitate this some more. Now the only bad thing is, this time when I tried to feel in there with my pinky finger, I can barely fit it in there, and I couldn't feel any gunk around the edge like I did last time, but I don't know that I got it all out. So all I can figure to do is just keep flushing until it comes out clear. So I don't know if I need to let this sit for a day or two and let it soak, or see if I get any more chunks or what. I think I'm going to go ahead and flush this quart, see what it looks like after agitating it like that, and then decide whether we're going to soak some more or what. Alright, we're just going to drain this in with the last quart. So, only thing we'll have to go by is if we see more chunks coming out as it's coming out. Oh, that's a good indication there's chunks. It's not even draining. Come on. Oh, there's a blob in the drain hole right now. Come on out of there. Yeah. Alright. So that tells me there's still lots of crud in there. So I think I'll flush a little bit of kerosene through with the plug out. Well, now what to do? Whether I keep flushing or probably good enough to put the oil in it. You run a little more through like that. Well, that's looking a lot cleaner. Of course, that's going straight through, so it doesn't really have time to turn black or nothing. Hopefully that splashing in there like that is trying to flush the rest of the crud out. I don't know. Now, would I have been better to run it and got the engine the operating temperature before I drained the oil initially? Maybe, but I wanted all this sludge that was settled in the bottom to be able to try to get it out rather than it circulating through the engine. Because on cold starts it was causing problem. Well, I can't feel anything. Oh, yeah. Oh, yep, there's still goop in there. I still feel it. Oh, there's the oil pickup. Oh, and there's still goop all over it. Screen for that. Huh. I wonder if I can take... Alright, so brake parts cleaner straight into the oil pan. Well, we have to get the actual liquid to go down, not just... This can's almost empty, so I'm going to put the rest of it in there. Let's see if we can get a little different angle there. There we go. This stuff is designed to remove grease and oil from brake parts. I use it for all kinds of stuff because it'll clean about anything. So There wasn't a whole lot in this can anyway, so. And what we've got is down in the bottom of the oil pan. So, now the only debate is how long do I let that sit? Probably a couple hours at least, I would think. The thing about the brake parts cleaner is it evaporates. I wonder if I should put a little kerosene in there with it just to keep it from evaporating so quickly. I want the full strength of the brake parts cleaner, and down in there it shouldn't evaporate too awful quickly. Hopefully it'll attack and thin out that sludge. So what I will do is when I do go to drain again, I will pour some kerosene down in there to flush whatever that breaks loose. And hopefully this time we can get the remainder of that sludge out of there and put some oil back in it. Alright, working on Barn Find Betty again. This has been going on for a couple weeks. This is what I got out of the oil the last go round with the kerosene. That was after 2 rounds of kerosene and then just pouring some straight through. And so I put another quart of kerosene in there, and then I put some brake parts cleaner in there. I showed y'all that. So it's been sitting for almost a week now with that in it. So I'm hoping that's broke it down to where I can get the rest of this crud out of there, and then hopefully I can get it cleaned out and put some oil back in it and start driving it again. Well, black and nasty, that's for sure. There wasn't much in there. Huh. Thought I'd put another quart in there. I put a quarter can of brake parts cleaner, which I can smell. Well, we're going to flush some kerosene through there, see what that does. Alright, hope y'all can see with my little tiny camera here what I'm doing. First, I'm just draining this oil pan once again. So this part's no big deal, but I do hope you can see when I start to do my other part. Ooh, more chunks. Look at that. Oh, nice. Okay, so set our oil plug up here out of the way. Now we want to take our air hose and our little straw thingy here, and we got to hook this up in here like so. Now we shall attempt to siphon like so. I'm trying to rake it around and get everything over here to where I'm pulling from. Not doing as well as I'd hoped. Of course, this straw didn't turn out quite as the way I wanted it either. I have another straw here, and what I may do is make a T. Actually cut this off, take the other one. Because what it is I'm not getting a good siphon effect. So I'm going to modify on my straw a little bit. Although, oh man. Well, we are definitely getting goop out of there one way or another. Let's see if we can blow that out a little bit. Yeah, see, when I melted this, I like halfway clogged it up. So we're going to have to modify it a little bit. Well, my mod didn't work. My second straw was too small. So we're going to make an attempt at just blowing across the straight end of this and see if that works. Like so. Ooh. That's working. I'm trying to move it around a little bit so I can pick up more of it. Well, all right. Well, let's see if I can feel anything. Oh, yeah. There's still goop in there. Man, this is just terrible. I don't know how else to do this. Right now I'm just kind of trying to rake around and scoop the stuff over closer to the drain hole. And then we'll dump some more kerosene through real quick. See how much that helps. Ugh. I think that's water. Shit. Alright. That gives me a little more liquid to try to siphon out instead of just sludge. And hopefully the liquid will bring the sludge with it. About to run out of air. Well, it's looking a little cleaner. Oh, nice. I actually don't feel any gunk. Not to say that I got it all, but I don't think I'm going to get it all. I think I'm going to have to call it good enough at some point and just put the damn oil in it and run it and then change the oil again after, well, maybe I can get a regular oil service out of it. Maximum to the 3,000 miles though. I might do it at 1,500. That'd be a half. We'll see. We'll see what it looks like. Did I get full synthetic? I think I did. I don't remember. That might help. Might make it worse. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure this out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pour some oil through it. Yes, I know. That may not make sense, but I'm going to pour some oil, clean oil through it because I've been pouring kerosene in there and I want to try and get the rest of the kerosene out and nothing but oil in there. Now, whether the oil will push the kerosene out or not, I am not sure. That's what I'm going to try to do. So, I got all mile coverage motor oil, conventional protection. So, I think I got the cheapest stuff because I figured I was going to have to change it again. And I'm fixing to dump some through that's not even going to stay in the engine. So, that's all coming out. And it looks like it's coming out pretty clean. So I think we're going to call that good enough. Put the oil plug in it and fill her up. Because it's been 3 weeks. Well, this will be the 3rd week. This is Monday. Yeah. Not that I mind driving the mini truck, but, well, I kind of need to get this one going again just for more utility purposes. So, what do we got here? We're gonna, well, that's what I just now got coming out of the pan. It's clean. Feels a little thin, but it is 10W30. Yeah, I think we're good. That's clean oil coming out, so I'm sure I did not get all the sludge. I'm not saying that I did, but I have cleaned it out the best I can. I have definitely got the screen cleaned off. It was very bad. And that was what was my main problem was, I think. So, my first oil change, there was a little bit of water came out. So, you know, just goes to show you, an engine's sitting for 30 years is harder on it than it's running the whole time, you know. Alright, now I got to do my oil filter and put some oil in it and see what the pressure looks like. So, that'll be it for done under here. Okay, so we got a jumper box on here. Alright, that's about as much as I want to spin it without the ignition, because, you know, I don't want to run the jumper dead. I already got a dead battery. So now I'm trying to plug the wire back up down here. Y'all probably can't see. I can't see what I'm doing, so. Okay, that should have that. So now we go around here and see if she'll fire up. Oh! Let the fuel pump prime up a little bit. About 5 pats. Okay, oil pressure came up. The light went off. Our gauge is slowly climbing. I'm assuming y'all can see that. So it's coming up to, oh, it's coming up good. Yeah, that's better than it had before, even at, and we're just at a high idle. Oh yeah, that's up to 45. Oh yeah, we definitely made an improvement. Like I say, I will kind of monitor it, and I may change the oil early. Oh yeah, it's sitting there holding at 45. Almost 50 now, so yeah. And it is noticeably quieter, because it did have a little valve train noise in the top end. So hopefully we didn't do any damage before I took care of this. That's why I parked it when I noticed the oil pressure drop that one day. So well, I don't know how useful this video will be, because you know, it was kind of trial and error, but looks like it's going to work out in the end. So I don't see a test drive being necessary, really. So obviously that right there tells the story pretty much. Now we got to fix the carburetor, but that'll be for another video, because this is probably going to be a long enough one. But as you can probably hear from the popping, and it takes her, okay, let me show y'all something real quick. Here is the high idle cam. She still idles hard when it cranks up. I'm assuming that's because the throttle is having to be turned up so much to make it run that with the choke on, it's still making it pull more gas or something. Anyway, I'll get into that later. Excuse me. I'll get into that later, and we may even just upgrade to a Weber. Probably the smart thing to do. But I may fight with the Hitachi some more first. It is a new looking carburetor, and if I can get it cleared out and working properly, it'd be just fine. But we'd have to see. Now it's finally starting to idle down. But we're still holding 50 pounds of oil pressure, so that's great. It's never had that much oil pressure. It had oil pressure, but not that much. So I guess that's going to do it for this video. So Later.